This is Apollo Control at 166 hours, 28 minutes. Apollo 11 is 127,431 nautical miles from the Earth. Velocity 4,975 feet per second. Crew still sleeping. All systems still normal. The Weather Bureau's Spaceflight Meteorology Group reported today that weather conditions for the landing of Apollo 11 tomorrow are expected to be acceptable. Some showers have been reported near the landing area, but these are expected to move westward, leaving the recovery area with partly cloudy skies, east-northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, and 4-foot seas. Although tropical storms will not affect weather in the landing area, the Apollo 11 crew should get a good view of the tropical storm Viola, located in the western North Pacific, and also the remains of tropical storm Claudia, located southeast of Hawaii. This is Mission Control, Houston.
Flight FAO. I think we have a standard report coming to stand by. Flight setup.
Does anybody know what happened with the laser experiment last night?
Flight retro. We're looking at 1.3 feet per second at FCC-7 right now. So it's going down again. Subtract we're only 4/100th of a degree and don't have to do anything at all.
Okay, my net impression is there's almost zero possibility of a mid-course 6, is that right?
Yes, sir. Now, you know, we do owe a ER minus 24 update. And we'll probably have an FCC-7 to go with that.
Okay. Let's see if I can find it in our book here.
It's around 170 or 74 hours, I think, right?
Yeah. Preliminary entry pad. Record mid-course 6, she'll give them 7 instead of 6.
That's fun.
Okay.
But we ought to get another update before we have to start building data. I'd kind of like to see if we do go to 0 this time. I mean, even if we had to do mid-course 7 in the full analysis, I'd rather not give them a pad with it in it now. But if it's within their update criteria, you understand what I'm saying?
Vaguely. Okay, what you mean is you'd like not to have to do one.
Roger. I remember one mission we gave a pad and then we turned around and told them not to do it.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I know. It wouldn't hurt if they did it. Rather than say you don't have to do one, you'd say, hey, you gotta do one. Right here.
Flight plan call, right?
We'll
And
do,
estimated mid-course.
you bet.
Okay?
Roger that. My friendly Fido shaves off 400. Good shape.
Okay.
Flight fighter.
Go ahead.
In the interest of science, it would behoove us at this time to take a checkpoint.
Let me check our associates. Econ. Stand by one. I didn't even get by the first request there, Fido.
We must disassociate our associates.
They've been cutting ties all night as it is. He's been doing that. But you, GMC, whenever we get over this present stumbling block. Okay, fine, we're done. Ida, get some cooperation.
That's very good. Mr. Liebergard is truly a gentleman and scholar.
I have the feeling I'm not going to trust the results of this current discussion.
Right, Fido.
Go ahead.
It behooves me to inform you that our checkpoint has been completed.
We will resume normal ops.
This is Apollo Control at 167 hours 28 minutes. Apollo 11 is 124,520 nautical miles from the Earth, approaching at a velocity of 5,055 feet per second. All still going well toward Apollo 11. Maintaining a stable passive thermal control mode, nose pointed toward the Earth, rotating 3 revolutions per hour. This is Mission Control Houston.
Right. Way to point. I think so. So we will do it.
The entry pad. All that jump will do is instead of confusing it, select the photos. It would just change the information.
And blow up BTC.
How do you figure it out?
They always do.
Well, fine, that sleep lighting won't be right.
Hello, is Mr. Hayes there for Captain Shearer?
No, he's not in. I should expect him in after a bit.
Oh, I see.
I'll put Captain Shearer on. I'd like to talk to him.
Well, just a moment. And to whom? What is your name again, please?
Colonel McCullough.
Oh, yes, sir. Hold on.
Morning, Lee.
Morning, Tom.
How you doing?
Ready? Just got a report on the seismometer.
Yeah, what do you hear?
Oh, I just went over it all with OB. What they're doing.
Say again?
I say we just went over what they're doing about it. They don't have much options.
You gonna turn it off?
No. Best advice we can get is don't turn it off.
Yeah.
You can shift transmitters back and forth, which they think is a critical thing that would go first.
Okay.
And you kind of self-heal by shifting, I guess. Then that'll probably carry a few more hours, probably.
I didn't realize they had a transmitter on.
How do you think we get the data back?
Well, you can get it back through a single one, right? But I didn't realize.
Oh, you didn't know they had two?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they have redundant ones.
Oh, great.
So, as soon as the frequency starts to waver on one, if it does, and they expect that today sometime, they'll shift to the other and shift back and forth until that's shifted.
What is it they thought would the turn-on shock would fail, Lee?
Why?
What is it? What component are they worried that would fail? It seems like switching transmitters is doing the same thing as that to the transmitter.
Tom, you're asking questions I can't answer. I've been asking the same one. And Obi doesn't have it. They got all the experts there are, and they're running tests at Bendix right now.
Yeah, I understand thermal tests on the transmitter.
And I'm too far removed to give advice that would help. I've been on the other end of this too much.
Roger.
And
You're a manager.
yeah, well, I had so much advice on some orbiter potential failures that I used to nearly scream. I got calls from every top guy in NASA.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You know,
yeah. Let the real people work the problem.
Obi did say that they went into some detail with George Hage, and George emphatically agreed with him. Don't turn it off.
Yeah.
One of the arguments is that the temperature range expected is so much higher than the Qual test point that they think even if the shock didn't kill it, that the differential isn't enough to save it, and therefore they ought to get all the data they can.
Roger.
I argue that a little bit because the 15-degree differential may be just enough to keep it alive. But
that's a value judgment, isn't it?
yeah,
When you're working in an area you haven't investigated, right?
that's right. It is, and I'm very all out in the world, and the guys that are working it,
I guess
I'm going to try to keep from bothering them.
Get the thermal gradient as time marches on might be interesting to tell you whether that's a good idea or not.
I'd suggest they bring in some other thermal guys who weren't involved with the experiment at all, just to get a fresh look, and they did that last night.
Yeah.
Center. Understand, George wanted to talk with me.
Okay, where can I get a hold of you?
I'm in my office.
What's the number? Oh, you back in Washington?
Yeah, I came back last night.
Okay.
21967.
Okay, Lee.
How are things going with the mission?
Okay, I understand they still have gotten no data from the LRQs, as you're probably aware.
Yeah, that's not too unexpected, you know.
Yeah, okay. I probably about 14 days from now it'll start looking better.
It won't be that long. It'll be when it gets to dark.
Yeah.
When's it?
Okay, make it 10 days.
Yeah, it's 10 or so.
Yeah.
But we have to worry a little more than normal because of the seismometer problem. I guess it looks mostly like they didn't move it out far enough, but no sense stating that yet.
Yeah, I'm not. It's difficult for me to understand how they got a significant thermal pulse on that bear without getting some aerodynamic loading on those flimsy little panels.
The panels were perpendicular.
I understand all that, but it's also sitting on the surface. If you've got high energy gas coming down there, it's going to be going in all directions from the surface.
Yeah, but mostly radial. The component that would go circular is great. I don't know.
Well, you got to, if it's coming out that way, it's going to be going radial right down to the lunar surface, and from the lunar surface back up again, right underneath that nice little air brake you stuck out.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
We will maybe never know.
Maybe it'll keep working out.
Yeah, it's a shame that some of the guys are getting off the tire and they get irritable and start to get critical about that. What? That's fantastic. I'm trying to turn down all of that kind of talk I can.
Very good. I hope those guys stay away from the news, or the news media stays away.
Well, they got a press conference at noon tonight. Talk with Opie about that. Particularly, I'm worried about Ali, who is a very now-talking type, who wanted the dust cover,
Yeah.
which we finally turned down. And I don't know what he thought of that.
Okay, Lee.
I will ask Opie this morning. Can't control too much. I guess George is interested. I understand this press release on the next site.
Okay.
So I'll be here, Tom, just at his convenience.
Okay, I'll tell him you called, Lee.
All right. Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, so long.
Charles Buffalano.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
I just wanted to tell you, looks like we're going to have a dump around 170.
Right, I have that.
Okay, I was sure you did. I just wanted to confirm it. It's a lousy place.
Yeah, you bet. It really is. It's,
About as well hidden as it could be.
well, maybe India's not rainy today. What are the chances of there being another dump before re-entry?
This is going to be it. I think they want to get this thing out of the way as soon as the crew wakes up and let the velocities all settle down so they'll get a good hack on what the final mid-course is going to be.
Okay, we'll do what we can.
Okay.
And I don't know what'll happen, but thanks a lot.
Okay, John.
Right.
Be safe.
Bye.
Right, Spider.
Go ahead. Okay. Let me see it. Let me see it for a checkpoint. Go.
Hey, good. Okay, I just want to let the last one. We got another one. Right, Spider.
Go ahead.
Yes, he was up here.
Okay. Maybe you have.
This is Apollo Control at 168 hours, 28 minutes. Apollo 11 distance from the Earth is 121,550 nautical miles. Velocity 5,138 feet per second. All systems still performing well. The crew still asleep. Clock here in the control center shows 26 hours, 34 minutes, 37 seconds until entry into the Earth's atmosphere. This is Mission Control, Houston.
Flight retro. Join the flight retro. Hey, looks like we're looking at a big course of 4/10 of a foot per second. Okay. Now MCC 7, which means we don't have to do it.
Hi, this is Julie. Is Mr. Turchin still there?
Yeah.
Can I talk to him a minute?
Okay, let me give you a number where the
2644?
it's 6295.
6295.
Right.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Okay.
Okay, in the PPT book we're now stabilized on the point that was not offset original fictional angle. Here's some out there. Some water, some drivers further out. However, we think we find that if we do the film period of time, based upon the spacecraft having errors in time, either not being perturbated, not being exposed back toward its original point.
Okay, I suppose it's returning. Well, I haven't said too much on it, but you.
No, but even for its first time.
Yeah. You know when that time ends around then? Time it done.
No, it'll have to be a all-day field time place.
Okay. Cap Town Play. How much warning can you give there? Gene C. Gene C. How much warning can you give on the dump?
We can, what we're going to do is once we're put up for the park, and we, not all,
You can't buy anything. Well, where is the dump switch that they're using? Do you have to be under the couch, or can you reach it? Down under the couch. Okay, so we have to kind of prep them for it.
one guy wants
No more hoses. Okay, well, why don't we see if we can talk him through that just for drill. Okay. Stand by, flight up line. Right. And retro flight, I assume it's inclusive now, you're not going to do 6. There.
rock flight pressure right in the pad, we don't do 7 either.
Okay.
Okay? Our big one is very small. That hurts my 4 tests.
4. Yes, I heard it in the back.
Okay. Right, Adam.
Good. Yeah, you can't see anything. Check one. Okay, go ahead.
Chandler?
Yes, sir.
George Chandler?
Right.
How are you? Have we heard any time for the expected orbital life of the ascent stage?
No.
Herb Brownstein is calling, wants to know. Okay, I'll snoop around the FIDOs, I guess.
Yeah.
The SSRs. Right. Okay.
Right, retro.
Go ahead.
I've got your EI minus 24.
Okay, pass the tip. Ron, please.
This is Apollo Control at 169 hours, 28 minutes. Apollo 11 is 118,542 nautical miles from Earth, approaching at a velocity of 5,225 feet per second. Crew is still asleep. Performance of all systems continues to be normal. Mid-course correction number 6, which was scheduled for an elapsed time of 172 hours, has been canceled. The trajectory is such that it will not be required. From the Manned Spaceflight Network, we have a report of a contribution to the Apollo 11 mission from a 10-year-old boy in Guam. The Guam tracking station is receiving telemetry from this mission. Had a problem with one of its antennas, a bearing. The bearing was replaced with the assistance of a 10-year-old boy named Greg Force, who had arms small enough that he could work through a 2.5-inch diameter hole to pack the new bearing. We're now showing entry, interface with the Earth's atmosphere, 25 hours, 33 minutes, 30 seconds from now. and the green team of flight controllers led by Cliff Charlesworth is now taking over from Glenn Lenning and his black team flight controllers. This is Mission Control Houston.
Trying to reach Tom McMullen. Can I speak with him? George, how are you doing?
Fine, how are you?
Good.
This is Tom.
Tom?
Yes.
Tom, Rudy Abramson, Los Angeles Times, would like to talk with you. He's talked with Julian about this, and Julian says, fine, if you can do it. You got any time you could see him?
Sure, what do you want to talk about?
He wants to talk about the landing, the last few seconds.
Okay.
What should he do to see you? Can he come over there in the lobby and send a message in, or would you prefer to do it at some later time?
Stand by just a minute, Howard.
All right.
Why don't you tell him I'll just come on over, ask him to come on down the lobby and I'll come down and see him now.
All right, I'll get hold of him and he can, I'll get hold of him now and tell him to come on over.
Okay, if that's not convenient, I can come over to the press center.
Well, okay,
I am here on the console, I just don't want to be away too long.
Yeah, well, let's do it your way first. If I can't reach him right away, I'll call you back.
Okay, all right.
All right, thank you.
Right.
Yep.
Network. I don't have the Beacon guys see you. I'll be on South 4.
Okay, do it to South 4 then.
Thank you.
Well, sadly, if you George Lowe, Span, ATO.
flight? Are they still asleep, or do you see anybody staring in?
They're still asleep. Let me check the bathroom on the respiration thing.
Okay.
Airman? Flight 3.
Yeah.
I think they're still asleep.
Okay.
All three of them.
Thank you.
Flight network. Flight network.
But
We're having problems with this telemetry computer, so we'll have to get telemetry from that 31st station.
okay, copy that. Intel and ECA.
Flight network.
Go ahead.
The Madrid telemetry computer is back up now. Okay.
Tom, Howard Alloway. My guy misunderstood and went to building 2, and so he missed you. Would you be available again? If he comes over right now to the MCC lobby? Okay, he's very sorry. He misunderstood what I had told him.
Coming over right now. I'll start getting down.
All right, he'll start right now. Okay, Tom. All right, wait a minute.
I'm meeting down there. A lot of people down there.
Can he come to the guard desk?
Okay, fine. I'll meet you there.
All right. Yeah, sorry.
Go to the guard desk. He said the lobby's empty.
Yes, please, what? What's your roll rate? What is this 0.7 I see it giving? 0.6. You see what?
Go ahead.
What is this 0.6 and 0.7?
Can't really say.
See if I can figure it out.
This is Apollo Control at 170 hours 28 minutes. The flight surgeon reports that all 3 crew members apparently are still sleeping. And there are no immediate plans to awaken them during time. Apollo 11 is currently 115,470 nautical miles from the Earth. And the speed is up to 5,317 feet per second. In about 4 hours at 174 hours 24 minutes at John Atlantic time, Apollo 11 will be in terms of distance halfway home. At that point, it will be 102,888 nautical miles from the moon and 102,888 nautical miles from the Earth. All systems on the spacecraft continue to function normally at this time. The spacecraft weight is almost an even 26,000 pounds. At 170 hours 29 minutes, this is Apollo Control Houston.
I was trying to reach Chris Kraft.
He's not out here right now, Brian.
I guess he called me from someplace else. I'll find him.
Okay, I guess he's in here.
All right, I'll find him. Thanks.
Did you ever find Mr. Hage?
Yes, he's at the console now.
He's what?
He's here at the console now. He wants to go do it.
Didn't he have an 11 o'clock appointment with Ken Weaver?
Just that.
Hello there.
Hi.
I've already talked to him.
Oh, you have? I was going to say, he mentioned that he had an 11 o'clock with you, and I didn't know where you were at the time that he had called, while you touched base with him.
I talked to him.
Yeah.
I've got to do some additional arranging if I can.
Is someone taking care of picking up your ticket, or is somebody going to bring the TR over here so I can pick it up? Or
By golly, I forgot it again.
he forgot the TR.
Yeah. I'll get it over to you. Do you need it before you can pick the ticket up?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay, well, I'll pick it up at lunchtime.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah, fine.
All right.
And I did talk with Mrs. Hage finally this morning, and she said you had already called.
Yeah, I called her this morning, and she was in.
Yeah, she got
She got the card.
Yeah.
Thank you, Julie.
Yeah. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
The general got a full schedule today?
Well, it's mostly interviews, and he had one at 9 and one at 9:30 and one at 10 and one now waiting at 11. And we have some more to set up this afternoon. This is a good day for that, though.
Yeah, great day.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Right of way. Go fly. Only go 6. There, right? Yeah, that's not that right. Fine, that's good. So, they go the way stuff that you got. 347 shows no correct. 5 like that. There, right now, we're inside the quarter. Taking one more in, we'll get that. Say right now, says something for the retro, yeah, right. Says something for the Collins roster. Shouldn't that go to this? Capcom FAO Malu.
Belly.
Jack Beard, please.
See, Jack. Jack's not here. Jim Peacock's here.
Well, Jack's here today.
Wait a minute. Let me ask Jim. I can tell you better. Hey, Jim. Jack Severe. Is he due in? Is Jack coming in? Jack Severe. He will not be here. Go to the office. Or someone wants to talk to Jack.
Okay.
He's off completely.
Yeah.
And not even in the office. He won't even be in today. He's got the day off. Jim Peacock, yeah. Hold on just a minute.
Peacock.
Jim George Chandler, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah, I was we're working on this plan with us coming out tomorrow. That's the last round. We got a little more comprehensive report. A lot of things in there, you know, and one of them that we put the last time was things like the first formula first technology.
No, the only thing that we're beginning to kind of work on is sort of an engineering report on some of the detailed objectives that have to do with the EVA.
Right.
And I think we're gonna try to pull a pretty good report together on that. Some of the stuff is the different subsystem folks will be writing their reports to pump into the Don Arabian operation. But they usually cut out about 80% of it, which is, you know, all right. But we'll probably take the try to get the appropriate things that tell how the hardware worked. You know, the PLIS and the suit mobility and visibility and all these things, and make sure that these things get written down together in a fairly detailed report. Well, I don't know. We don't have a hard schedule on it. It's maybe it's you know, not so important to get it out real quick as it is to try to get it a fairly complete report. But we haven't really established exactly what it is, you know, that we think we need to have in such a report. It's kind of in the thinking stages right now.
I see, I understand. Well, we asked Chris last time. Always
Right now, we're
Yeah, they were. We see a voice subcarrier on a downlink now.
Well, we've, Jack has kind of looked through the book there and made some checks and X's, and there aren't very many X's, but there are a few. But this doesn't subtract off the 100%, because we got the 100% just by landing and taking off. But we really hadn't thought that that anyone would be interested in the score on that.
No, not the number. I know the last night it was 107. I haven't had a business record. It's only going to be about
112. What's the system that tells you these numbers like this?
Is that what you need?
No, I don't know. I'm yeah, there's a really a system that tells you what to say on that. Yeah, okay. No, we chose up and I took yesterday off and he's taking the day off. So we'll be back in tomorrow. As far as the detailed objectives, no, there were some of the detailed objectives that weren't complete. Parts of some of them. I don't think there's any detailed objective that we didn't get a good portion of. Not offhand. I'd have to go through the write-up, but Jack will be in tomorrow morning, and if this is soon enough, Bob, he's done pretty good assessment on this already. Yeah. Well, probably at 8 o'clock over here in Spain. Yeah, I just talked to him a few minutes ago, and he said he was going to be gone for a few hours. Well, he said he would. Yeah, what's your number? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll see you. Bye.
This is Apollo Control at 170 hours, 54 minutes. The flight surgeon reported a few minutes ago that telemetry data now indicates all 3 crewmen are awake after about 10 hours of rest. We expect we will be hearing something shortly. Apollo 11 at this time is 114,146 nautical miles from the Earth. The spacecraft velocity is 5,359 feet per second. a press conference with the principal investigators for lunar samples is scheduled to begin in about 4 or 5 minutes. During that press conference, we will tape record any conversations with the crew and play them back following. At 170 hours 55 minutes, this is Apollo Control Houston.
You're pretty sure this better. I think that sounds like good advice. Let's see if anybody's up with this.
Apollo 11, Houston, are you up and at him yet? Over.
Oh, we're up. So, eyeball if I am. That's very fast.
11, Houston, got your signals loud and clear here. How are things this morning? Over.
Can you read it, on?
Roger, loud and clear, 11.
Okay, we feel right here. So far, we haven't been looking in the cockpit yet. We've been spinning around. So I'm looking outside. Everything looks good.
Roger, 11. You're breaking up just a little bit there, Neil. Your signals are loud, but breaking up occasionally. Your spacecraft all looks good here from the ground. We noticed you turning around the cockpit and thought we'd give you a call. Over.
Good morning.
11, Houston, we do have a few items for you here, entry pads, consumables, and so forth. After you've had a chance to get organized, whenever you're ready to start on a few of these items, we'll read them up to you. Over.
Okay, stand by.
So, it's now past so that's to the water dump. It's probably about 20 minutes.
Go ahead, Owen. I've got the books out there.
Okay, Buzz. On your flight plan items, a few updates. First of all, we've canceled mid-course number 6. Just remain in PTC. Give you a little more time this morning. Second item on the flight plan is we're ready for a batch recharge anytime you want to put it on the line. And third item, we'd like a wastewater dump a little differently this time. We'd like to do it on our mark from the ground. The PTC is a little bit ragged, and we would like to make the water dump at a time which we think will hold it in its proper configuration. So it looks like we'll have a desirable opportunity coming along in between 15 and 20 minutes. And on our mark, we would like to have a wastewater dump down to about 40%. I'll give you a more accurate level for the water dump a little later. Over. Houston, stand by for a moment here till we get out of the null position on the antenna. Houston, we're over on Omni Delta now. I think we can read you better. Did you get all those first three items on your flight plan update? Over. All right, guys. Course correction. Cancel. Battery decharge.
All the earmarkings of a Hollywood production here.
Water dump. Your over. That's right, Buzz. And last item here, we do request that we do a P-52, even though we're not doing the mid-course correction, and we'll suggest you get to that after the water dump has been
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
we also have a state vector update for you. If you can get us Pooh and a director
over Science and Applications and Spacecraft Center. Dr. Hess will carry the program from here.
First, I'd like to introduce the people at the table and tell you their part in the science of this mission, and then ask each of the scientists in turn to give a short status report on his experiment. We're going down the table. First, Professor Johannes Geis from the University of Bern, Switzerland. Dr. Geis is the experimenter on the solar wind composition experiment. Second is Dr. Nick Costas from the Marshall Space Flight Center. Dr. Costas is the head of the team that is doing solar mechanics on this mission. Next is Professor Carol Alley from the University of Maryland. Professor Alley is in charge of the laser reflector experiment. Next is Don Gerke of the Science and Applications Directorate here at the Manned Spacecraft Center. Mr. Gerke is the ESET Program Manager, the head of our team who worked the ESET experiment, the size monitor, corner reflector, and the others. Next, Professor Gary Latham of Columbia University Lamont Laboratory, who is in charge of the size monitor experiment. Next, Dr. Jim Sasser of the Mapping Science Laboratory here at the Manned Spacecraft Center, who's in charge of photographic operations. And next, Professor Gene Shoemaker of Caltech, in charge of geology experiments. And at the end of the table, Professor Frank Kress from MIT, Professor Maurice Ewing from Columbia, and Professor George Sutton from Hawaii, who are the co-investigators on the seismometer. So I'd like to ask then each one of the investigators to give a short status report on his experiment. Professor Geis.
He is 63. He is 59. Over. Roger, let me goes and we checked the air on the ground also. One correction to my last transmission, we would like that P-52 prior to the wastewater dump, which is coming up in about 30 minutes from now. Will that be possible? Over.
You will assume
oh yeah, we'll take care of that.
Deployed for 1 hour and 17 minutes, and this was the time as planned.
And if you're ready for an entry pad, I'll read that to you now also, 11.
Was very quick, we carried out by Colin Armstrong. And
okay, entry pad is area intact.
The deployment was well within the
359er
allocated for this task.
153 001. 194 46 03.
We have no data yet because
267
plus
1102
when you analyze this
minus 172 03.
Thank you.
067
At this point,
361
the investigation team
655
has had the opportunity to have data from real-time TV and astronauts' voice transmissions and transcripts. Based on this data, the preliminary examination of the data, we're concluded that
DL and
there were no major problems as far as
applicable.
Conditions were concerned.
D0
during the land landing.
400.
No visibility problems.
02
no surface erosion. Or
0018
capacity.
03
also,
38
there was no problems as far as astronaut mobility was concerned.
44
to walk,
29er
stand,
32
jump quite easily on
380.
The soil
Forsyth star is Scorpio Vega.
In other words, insofar as vein size and cohesion sequences overlap were exhibited during previous survey missions. And based on these properties,
entry data,
our team of workers made quite a few preliminary analyses. Based on these analysis, we did not see any surprise as far as syntax of the
1904
and so forth.
plus 33
We
plus 03.
There appears to be somewhat more variability in the soil properties from spot to spot and also with respect to depth.
Your GDC aligned stars
more than what was observed from the surveyor site.
Roll pitch yaw 078.
Perhaps with the exception of the surveyor 7.
340.
But
three back over.
There were some contradictions, or I wouldn't say contradictions, but in astronaut description of the lunar soil, which we hope to decipher at during the debriefing session.
001.
Always heating problems were major concern observed. And more detailed analysis will be done when we receive the photographs, little photographs, upon the briefing of the astronauts, and after preliminary examination of some of the lunar samples.
Astronaut Neil Armstrong reported that the laser-ranging retroreflector array was satisfactory deployed. We had never expected to get returns until the first lunar night. The reasons for this are the following. There is a very large background consisting of scattered light from the sun around the site at the present time. This makes it difficult to distinguish scattered laser beam photons of the reflector from the surrounding light scattered by the sun. In addition, there is some thermal distortion expected when the sun is shining directly on the reflector. We've made every effort to design the array in such a way to keep this distortion to a minimum so that once we have acquired the reflector and are in a steady-state operation, we can continue to get returns during the day. But during the acquisition period, this will definitely reduce the signal. The third problem is that we do not know the exact range of this reflector in terms of time, better than perhaps 10 microseconds. This makes it difficult to look only during a very small segment of time, which we can do later to suppress this kind of noise background I have just described. Now, a further difficulty is that we have not yet been told the exact location by NASA. There have been many possible sites. We have, in the last couple of nights, been looking at the most probable sites that the geologists have recommended, but I believe this is still not a certainty. Since the laser beam is only on the order of a couple of miles wide, this means that it's a difficult thing to scan around a large area. There have been 3 observatories coordinated by our group. These are our prime site at the McDonald Observatory, the University of Texas, Fort Davis, Texas, that's 500 miles from here. Using there a 107-inch telescope. The Lick Observatory at the University of California, located at Mount Hamilton near San Jose, using a 120-inch telescope. And there has been an unofficial effort conducted by the University of Michigan Mount Haleakala Observatory on the island of Maui in the Pacific, using public telescopes, 48-inch, pair 48 and the 60-inch telescope. There have been problems with cloud cover, and initially the moon was not up very long after the point. During that time, we expected quite large temperature ranges to sort of these rays. All in all, each observatory has gotten off probably several hundred shots. It is not possible to make an objective statement without having acquired the reflectors.
For example, the seismometer is transmitting and tells from CDVA that the one single interruption is approximately 1 hour. This interruption is the result of a ground station hardware failure. Other than that, we've been on the air full time.
Speaking to the seismic experiment, we had approximately 2.5 days of recording now. John mentioned the instrument is functioning very well at this time. That is, all the seismometers are functioning. We have developed, as you already know, a thermal problem. We began seeing it yesterday. The instrument is heating up beyond the predicted temperature increase. There are various speculations as to why this is occurring that you already know. At this point, we are simply hoping for the best, and we feel that there is a reasonable chance, at least, that we may be able to continue recording through lunar noon. However, that's certainly not a certainty at this point. I would like to say a few words about the science which we've been able to do in this very brief time, and I'm sure you'll appreciate that it will take quite a bit longer to say very meaningful things. But even at this stage, myself and my colleagues are very, very pleased with the experiment. We are obtaining data from an extraterrestrial body, which in itself is a magnificent experiment. We do have events which are of great interest to us. At least one which we feel rather certain is of true seismic origin, that is either a moonquake or an impact. The others will take quite a bit more study to ascertain their true nature. Not only more study, but continued recording, because to characterize these events, we need a rather significant period of recording to see what is normal, what is not normal, particularly with reference to the lens. It is a distinct possibility that most of the background signal that we see is produced by the lens. This is not certain at this point, but the lens, we understand, is at this point venting from a great many sources, at least 5 sources. Helium tanks are venting, batteries are venting, fuel tanks are venting, water tank is venting, some of them through check valves which tend to clatter. When the astronauts were in the lab, we saw quite a bit of activity on our seismometer, so that we know we're extremely sensitive to motions within the lens. Particularly true, for example, when they ascended the ladder. So that we have to observe these signals as a function of time and see whether or not they begin to decrease, as perhaps as a result of this venting process terminating, or if they do not. If they continue, of course, indefinitely, then we probably have to forget lens as the source. What I would like to do is show you some of the more significant traces, and I'll make a few remarks and ask my colleagues to comment as they feel appropriate. They've actually been spending more time on the record analysis than I have in the last few days. Don, can you turn that over the other way so that those straight lines are on the top? Okay. That's fine. This is the moment of truth for our experiment. These are the quiet lines, quiet traces. You're seeing a small section, I should say, of a record which is made on a drum recorder. Time increases in this direction. The drum is rotating around this way,
and a hot stylus is writing on a wax paper to make these traces. These are little indications, one of time, one pulse per minute. Before the experiment was turned on, we're recording these very quiet traces, and as we all anxiously watched, gave the command to uncage. This is what we got.
11, you said Roger, Neil, and half of 7 and 8.
All of this activity in this area was produced by the astronaut moving about in the vicinity.
11,
We hope that
your P-52, let's
sign
go
this
here on the
record along
ground.
with the
And we are now estimating that water dump will occur along about 171 plus 40.
The
And we want
record
you to
that
jump
you see
to
following that
45%.
shown here
This should let you arrive at an interface with just about a full load of wastewater. Over.
Down in this location, I don't think you can see it very well. It's where the astronaut threw the blitz over the side and it struck the surface. On the original record, it's a very, very nice signal and produced a very, very large trace, larger than we might have expected. The second blitz striking the surface is shown here. A smaller package was put on the surface here. Now, just to give you an idea of the background that we're discussing, this is the short period vertical component. The record is from that component shown here. And you see these little bursts of energy.
Sure, you got the pad, and we're not going to get too clever.
These, the signals that we're discussing, the origin of, we're not certain that they, at this point, we're not certain definitely, but we do believe that there's it's quite likely that the LEM is producing them. And if so, we should see this activity decrease with time as the lens bending process terminates. This is between 7 and 8 hertz in frequency content. The amplitudes are not very large as shown. Here we're running this at a gain of magnification of say 130,000 or so. And I think that that's close to a million on this record. A magnification that would be extremely difficult to achieve on Earth due to the much larger background noise. I'll ask for comments from my co-investigators at this point on this record, if you have any. Would you like to add on that? Frank? Sure. Can we have the next slide?
Okay.
Now, of the various events that we have recorded, which have very interesting properties, that is, which make us feel they may be of natural seismic origin as opposed to LEM origin, this is one. You see the small beginning here, and I apologize for this. It's a view graph reproduction. It's certainly not very good, but you can see, I think, this beginning and another right here. And this little event has characteristics which would be expected of a small moonquake or perhaps a meteoroid impact within a few hundred kilometers of the instrument.
11, we'd like to advance
Here
the
again,
time
you
on
can see
that
how the
water dump
background noise
to about
changes.
171 plus
Extremely quiet for a period of
30,
time.
just after we reacquire on the next Omni.
I think this was an in-house problem. This you can see it's very.
It'll be down to 45%. Is the quantity. Also, we're standing by for your CMRTS ejector temperature readout. Over.
Fine today. And it will not show up very well for you, but right in there is a small surface wave. Begins right there, roughly about perhaps in here, and ends up in here. It's inversely dispersed. That is, earthquakes normally give us the longest, the lowest frequencies at the beginning and then going to higher. This begins with high frequencies and goes to lower frequencies. And there's no very logical way to explain this except as a bona fide moonquake or meteoroid impact. This is a signal which propagated over the surface of the moon, as opposed to a signal which propagates through the body of the moon. Well, given structures, of course, we cannot extrapolate everything we do on Earth to the moon, because the moon may be basically different in structure. And so this is not unexpected for given structures which we could postulate.
Well, hold it. Let's hold the question until we're finished here, please. We're going to have copies of these slides for you later. Well, Dr. Latham, all right. This is, I guess we ought to do this right now.
Well, it appears that what you're looking at here, you can't distinguish from the remaining signals. If you had the original record, and as I say, it's difficult for you to see this, you would clearly see that there is a trace, a quite different character in here. It starts with high frequency wiggles there, right in there, and you can see these wiggles get longer and longer, or lower and lower in frequency, out to somewhere in here. Now, it takes a fairly, it takes a practiced eye to pick these out. I don't expect you to do very much seismology from your seat there, but I did want you to see what we consider to be an exciting record at this point.
Just, ladies and gentlemen, let's make a suggestion here. When we're finished here, I think Dr. Latham was willing to put this back up and go over it more
Apollo
detail.
11 Houston, I'm not certain you copied my last transmission as we were just in the process of switching out.
Well, I think
we'd like to advance the time on that water dump to about 5 minutes from now, and we'll give you a precise mark on the time to start the dump. And we are standing by for a readout on your CMRTS ejector temperatures. Over.
I just wanted to clarify a question pertaining to the location of the lunar module on the surface. I know that's one that has arisen several times in the past. We have as yet been unable to correlate the specific location of the lunar module by identifying features in the television records to the original photography that we had obtained of the site from Lunar Orbiter. This was not altogether unexpected. The television camera was scanned or panned around, and it was on a tripod only about 3.5 feet above the surface. So it would be rather difficult to have a very near horizon. We anticipate no particular difficulty in doing this and correlating the actual location of the lunar module with vertical photography when we obtained the film record. Back in the mission, the lunar module had a sequence camera that was taking pictures during the descent portion of the mission, which would lead us right into the touchdown spot, as well as the panoramic views of the horizon that were taken by the astronauts on the surface. The different techniques of locating the lunar module on the surface that are quite sufficient for the mission are, of course, the manned spaceflight network tracking and the guidance system that's on board the spacecraft. These are not correlated specifically with the surface features. So that, once we get the photography back, we will be able to point to a place on a photograph and say that is where the lunar module is.
4.8, over. 11 Houston, roger those, got them all.
A geologist deals with visual data, and I think maybe the easiest if we could start right out and show you a few slides to give a regional setting of the geology of the landing site, where the geologists, I might say we have a very large team of people on the lunar geology experiment, so I'm speaking for a large group you don't see out here. Where we think that the landing site probably is, and then go from there to a little comparison.
some of the features of this site with other places in Mare Tranquillitatis. If we had the first slide, please. Just to locate a few critical features that may be of interest with respect to this landing site. As you know, the actual landing is here in the southern part of Mare Tranquillitatis. Incidentally, one of the darker blue Maria on the moon is quite different from some of the others, so it's a special interest for that reason. Down in this region, in here, I can't show it to you very easily, is the crater Theophilus. It's several hundred kilometers from the landing site, and there are rays, which if I could show you a high-resolution picture, which I will in a minute, rays from Theophilus. Theophilus is a ray crater, which actually cross this region of Mare Tranquillitatis in fair number. In fact, a large number of craters we think are secondary craters formed by great clots of debris thrown from Theophilus up into this region. In addition, there's one other ray that's not definitely traceable to any specific crater on the moon, and there's just the possibility, the trend of this ray is correct, that it is part of this gigantic ray system.
Apollo 11, you said we're ready to start your wastewater at this time.
May I reach Mr. Hage on this number?
Incidentally, this little streak up here, going by the crater Bethel, is probably one
Mr.
of the
Chandler?
distant rays of
This is Virginia. Mr. James is trying to get in touch with Mr. Hage.
And there's a
Do you expect him back in a little while?
landing site array that has the right trend, so we may actually have a little ray element from Tycho in this landing site. Now, the reason that these features are important...
Could you hold on just for a moment and let me see what Mr. Jenkins
not
wants
only
to
will it
do?
be possible to learn something about the local place on the moon, Mare Tranquillitatis, from the return samples, but we will also expect there to be pieces of rock at this site that have come from more distant regions. Certainly pieces of rock from the region of Theophilus, and just possibly pieces of rock specifically having derived...
Hi, George.
And come quite a long...
Hello?
Actually,
How are things going?
Here, so let's go on to the next slide. This is just a close-up geologic map showing the western margin of...
Right, you told me yesterday morning, remember?
The region is characterized by abundant ridges, which you can see on this map. I'm showing a little shaded lines. The landing site is down in this area, rather close to where both Ranger 8 impacted and where Surveyor 5 landed. So we know quite a bit about this area already in a general way. These areas over here are shown in many colors are the highlands of the moon. To the west, there's some structures in this region which may have features that we actually see in the Mare. I don't want to go into that this morning. A close-up geologic map at 10 times the scale of the last one that you just saw, showing the region right around the landing site. These various colors on the map indicate different kinds of terrain on the Mare surface. Terrain varies in albedo and in crater density. Shown in purple up in here is one of these typical Mare ridges. It's about 100 meters high. It looks like a pummel in the lunar surface. It may in fact be the locus of pouring of lava that make up the Mare. The landing ellipse is shown right here, and most of the information available about the landing site is fairly consistent in saying the landing was down here at the western end of the ellipse, and I'll show you in a minute an enlarged view of this. We're giving our best guess as to the actual landing site at the present time. You can see from the variation in colors on this map that there are varying kinds of terrain in here, that the landing site may be in one of these units that's more densely cratered than the others. You cannot see on this, however, the rays, which are of great interest. The next slide shows a picture that was taken with Apollo 10 now. We see the southern border of Mare Tranquillitatis down here. Some of the long straight rills are part of the border region. Here's the crater Moltke, which is a young crater with a prominent ejected blanket around it. And these craters here, these irregular craters, nothing will change. Those are here, and this irregular kind of crater. The other craters that we think are...
How do those heaters work? They work all the time, don't they?
The long direction of these things points very clearly towards the opposite.
They have a way of cutting them off.
See the rays I'm talking about? There are some faint rays in here. See that? A little bit brighter there.
Apollo 11,
a little bit brighter here. Parts of the Theophilus rays that come right up into the landing ellipse, which is just about here. This cluster of secondary craters is the feature the astronauts are referred to as the cat paw, which is just west. The western end of the landing ellipse, and this is the little paw here, just north of it.
What about the laser, George? Have they got any signal back on it?
Here. Here's the other ray I was telling you about. Rather bright, much brighter than the Theophilus rays, and this is pointy, black, along a great circle towards Tycho. So that this may be a Tycho ray, and it's just possible that there are rare scattered fragments derived from Tycho that are over in this area as well. Certainly, there's very good chance that there'll be Theophilus fragments in here.
I got some coordinates from Jack Holcomb yesterday about 11 o'clock, and they changed
We no longer have rays associated in this region. Next slide. Now this is the
let me get my notebook.
Mosaic of the orbiter photograph showing.
Hang on just a second.
Okay. Cross on here is our best estimate, current best estimate of the landing site. Unfortunately, right under the edge of this cross, you can't see it, is the crater that we believe Armstrong talked about and avoided during the landing. The one that's about the size of a football field. He said actually he expanded that later.
Okay.
It's about the size of the Astrodome. And this, in fact, is just about that size of the crater. It's one of the very few craters of that size in the whole ellipse, or even near the ellipse, that has an appropriate number of rough blocks 5 feet across that he saw as he came down over it. It turns out to be very close.
That's the same as yesterday.
The best tracking information we have, the latest tracking information from the MISTIM, the pre-tracking, pre-landing data, puts it up in here, and the best tracking.
Yeah, round it off at the same time.
A combination of tracking and the rendezvous radar after launch puts the point down here. And our best estimate is that there's actual sites.
What about the communications drop for 5100
kilometers? Actually, about the error.
Any explanation on that?
Actually, the coordinates are known with respect to the photograph, so that this site. You can't quite see the longitudes on here. This is 23 degrees, 30 minutes east.
Excuse me, there are maps in the news center. You can take this off that.
So it's just about on the 23 degree, 30 minute longitude, very close to that. Next slide, please. Now this is a mosaic that we prepared yesterday, trying to take the best orbiter data of this site. It's a little bit off the map that had been prepared prior to the mission. So we went back into the files for orbiter data to try to get the best pictures available for the site to show you what it looks like. This is the crater we're talking about now that was overflown, that we believe was overflown. It's about 200 meters across, a few tens of meters deep. If I could show you a very close-up picture of that, you could actually see that there are blocks, quite coarse blocks down in this.
They're slated for another television show tonight, aren't they?
They've landed right about out in this area here. From the description, actually Armstrong himself felt that he was and had landed just at the outer extremity of the ejecta from this crater.
502 our time.
They could not see the crater itself from where they landed, which is not too
No, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Because all you see would be a low rim, actually.
I'm going the wrong way. Sorry.
Right on the outer rim.
Okay. I forgot where I was, you know.
Pictures and your descriptions.
Oh boy, it can get confusing.
For my transport. Another possibility is that they've actually landed.
Well, if I can believe my 11-year-old daughter when she said, "Daddy, you're pretty good."
As yet.
That's right. Yeah. You know, kids, they're brutally honest.
Then we will be able to make the identification very specific.
Well, my wife looked at it too, and she said she was really pleased. She's very critical too. You know, in a constructive kind of way. She's very critical.
Advanced
can never understand why I always tell her, well, you know, initially whenever I give a presentation, I'm nervous the first few minutes. She just can't understand that. But, you know, and I was yesterday, and as usual, after the first couple of minutes, I got over it, you know. And so she told me, she said, I could tell you were slightly nervous. She said, but it wasn't visible. But just because we know you so well, you know. Yeah.
No, just that it was at the west end of the.
I don't know. Do you have that problem?
One of the more prominent.
I said, do you have a problem like that?
You certainly see this crater because it's very much sharper and more prominent than most of the other craters.
Yeah, once you get into it and get the feel of it, where you're okay. But I always have to get past that initial. And I mean, it's, you know, it's very difficult getting past the initial blush. So I think that's pretty common.
And this is a Polaroid copy of a Polaroid copy. So I hope you can make out some features here.
Oh yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
Characteristics of the ground. We're looking from the position of the TV camera as it was set up on the tripod.
Well, believe it or not, actually, that was my first time on TV. Of course, this program has been on for 4 years, I understand. And the crew and Claire and even the dog, you know, they just did it like they're, you know, off the back of their hand. Yeah.
Right where the solar wind composition.
Staff. This is Rosemary. How are you? Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Here you can see some of the blocks now that were described by the astronaut.
Okay, well, look, I won't hold you, George. Do you have to answer? Oh, okay. What I wanted to talk to George Hage about, he'll probably come back there, won't he? After the press conference. What's the number there, George?
Notice that there is relief on the
Let's see, HU3 3358. Okay. Well, would you do that? Ask him to give me a ring when he gets back from the press conference. Yes.
Here's a crater here.
Thanks, George. Right, bye.
They describe. Again, notice that this apparent roughness to the surface, almost all of this, all these little dark spots on here are the shadowed side of blocks. Here's a fairly large rock, not more than a few tens of feet from the camera. Next slide, please. All right, now we're swinging around to the southwest. Again, you can see on the horizon a distinct feature. As a ridge-like feature that's seen from a height of a few feet above the surface. And again, this is going to be a crater rim. It probably is. This horizon off in this direction, incidentally, is fairly far out back here and to the south. Probably the order of several hundred feet at least. But then as we swing around to the west, we start to see rocks actually on the horizon. You can see one out here. Here you can see some rocks that are getting close to the horizon. So the horizon essentially is coming in close to us as we swing around on the clockwise direction. The next slide shows the view essentially looking down sun to the west. And indeed now you can see rocks that are sticking right up above the horizon. So this means the horizon is very close. In this area, probably about 100 to 150 feet. Now, the higher horizon is much farther away, of course, as you look out from that window. The astronauts would see much farther than this. This is the sort of belt buckle height view of the surface that we get from the TV camera. Here's a fairly coarse block in close, right in the area that the astronauts are working. You can see just a little bit of a shadow here. But as we're looking down some, of course, the shadows disappear. That area is hard to see things on the lunar surface. Next slide. Now, swinging around to the looking to the northwest, now we see some still larger blocks on the horizon. We have a suspicion that this is a crater rim here that may be actually one that Armstrong walked over to and took pictures looking down into it. So this is a crater that may be about 80 feet across, and it's right within the area of their surface activities. Next slide, please. And now we're looking further around toward the north. Again, as we look north or across sun, we start to pick up the craters. You see one in here. Incidentally, you'll notice that the crater has a different trend in the horizon. So there's either a sloping surface right here, or the horizon is rising. Again, we see it's very close, but you can see quite large rocks, essentially right at the horizon. So the horizon isn't more than, say, 150 feet, 200 feet at the outside from the television camera at this point. And note, try to fix in your mind now the abundance of rocks on this surface, because I want to show you a little bit another view of the lunar surface taken with surveyor pictures that shows much fewer rocks. Next slide. I'm finally looking clear around to the northeast. Again, we see this very rough surface. Now, we think this abundant patch of rocks, or in fact, the abundance of rocks generally in this area, is related to the fact that the Apollo 11 spacecraft landed right at the near the outer limit of the ejecta from the west crater. And much of the material you see here then represents a local sample of the Mare, but samples that might have been derived from depths as great as 50 feet or more. So we have a good chance of sampling the Mare in depth, or getting a sample of the Mare in depth with the fragments, the variety of fragments that were picked up. Next slide. This is just for comparison now. This is a surveyor picture, a little dark, the horizon's back here, it's taken on the side. This is very near to the camera, so these are small rocks. Look out here and you'll see very few. The next slide. This is the most abundant patch of rocks we saw with surveyor. You see the horizon back here. This is the region that would correspond to what we saw with the television pictures from Apollo. These things are that's a local cluster, but this is the general abundance of rocks. So you can see we're now looking at a very much rockier surface than we might have expected in landing on the Apollo 11 site. And that's a very fortunate accident, because it means we've gotten a lot of samples from which it will be possible to derive quite a bit once the samples return to the laboratory. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please wait for the microphone. We are recording this, then have to go to the cave. Everyone? Yeah.
Dr. Latham, with a seismic experiment, do you think that the impact recorded by the seismograph, do you think that this could this have possibly been the impact of Luna 15?
Well, feeling is that we did not record anything from Luna 15 and would not have expected to. It was not a very high energy impact, and at quite a distance if the estimates we have are correct.
At what time was the impact recorded, you know?
We have very well 10:50 Central Daylight, I think, if someone can.
The last estimated time that we received was 12:05 Eastern Daylight Time for impact of Luna 15.
Good call. I'd like to hear the opinion of Dr. I realize that this is maybe just a guess, but I'd like to hear the opinion of Dr. Latham at this time and of his three co-investigators on whether this interesting event, and whether this most interesting event was a meteorite or some interior activity.
Let me ask Dr. French, Dr. Ewing, and Dr. Sutt to express their opinions on that. And maybe at the same time to give a brief statement as to their thoughts on the most important aspects of the data to this point.
If we were to see that event on the Earth, we would say that that corresponds to an earthquake some few thousand miles away, and that dispersion that you saw, the variation in the length of the wave,
was probably due to the presence of the crust of the Earth. That would be the interpretation we would make, knowing that event occurred on the Earth. Now, so far as this event occurring on the Moon is concerned, I would guess offhand from our experience that this is an event that occurred on the order of a few thousand kilometers away, 1 or 2,000, and that it is the first evidence for layering in the Moon that we have. This is a tentative conclusion, and I don't know if everybody agrees with me here, but this would be my first initial guess. Now, so far as whether or not it's a moonquake or meteorite impact, again, using our Earth experience, if that were a meteorite impact, it would be equivalent to an explosion of many, of a few tens of kilotons, and that would be a rather large meteorite, and which is perhaps rare, and we would be very lucky to get it so soon. So for that reason, I feel tentatively that is a moonquake. In fact, I'm going to claim a case of champagne from a colleague in California on a wager as to whether or not there are moonquakes on the basis of that one of them.
Art Hill?
Dr. Lincoln?
Let me just interrupt here. I would like to, at this point, ask Maurice Ewing also to express his feelings on that, and Dr. Sutton, and then we'll have heard from all three. I think that there is no doubt at all that the dispersion shown in that seismogram indicates that the signal is a surface wave from either a moonquake or a large impact, and that the estimate of distance which Professor Press gave is certainly the right order of magnitude. I realize that those small waves do not look very impressive to you, and the question was raised earlier as to why we felt so much significance could be attached to those waves when we weren't saying much about some waves that looked perhaps larger to you. The significant thing was the systematic, gradual progression of periods of waves from the earlier time to the later time. This is caused by the dependence of speed of propagation of surface waves on wavelength. Now, the question was raised about someone tried to make an inference about the fact that this dispersion was what we call inverse dispersion. And it was explained to you that inverse dispersion means that the short period waves are traveling faster, are rising first. The dispersion curve for surface waves in cases where you have a two-layered medium, such as a layer of crust over a layer of mantle, it shows a minimum of velocities. We call this the Airy phase, and on the short period side of the minimum, we have an increase in wavelength with time. On the other side, we have a decrease. Now, most commonly in ordinary earthquakes, we see the other branch. We see the branch from the Airy phase on out toward longer periods. But in some earthquakes, in some disturbances, we do see the inverse phase on Earth. For instance, from an explosion from a very shallow source. So that you could infer that Frank Press may have an argument on his hand when he tried to collect his case of champagne. Because the fact that the inverse part of the dispersion curve is emphasized could be used to argue for a very, very shallow source, such as a source caused by an impact. We know so little about the moon, however, that we cannot say for sure what is the distribution of what would be the distribution of the frequency of moonquakes versus depth.
we know on the Earth that very few natural earthquakes are sufficiently shallow to emphasize the short period of time. Thank you. Dr. Sutton, how about you? Would you like to make a comment on those? Well, I could just say one thing that was very advantageous in picking up that signal in comparison with instruments running on the Earth. The periods observed from that are very close to the maximum in background noise that we have on the Earth. This is caused principally by storms at sea, meteorological disturbances over the oceans. This is a very large maximum in the background spectrum at around 6 seconds period. And this is
Apollo 11, Houston, I can read up your forecast weather for the recovery area anytime I get like to hear about it over here.
Instrument at something like 10,000 times the sensitivity we're able to operate on.
11, Houston, forecast shows acceptable conditions in your recovery area. 2,000 foot scattered, high scattered.
We had much more sensitivity.
Wind from 070 degrees, 13 knots. Visibility at 10 miles, and sea state about 4 feet. The forecast yesterday showed a tropical storm from 500 to 1,000 miles east of Hawaii.
Dr. Latham, I don't quite understand the
pictures
time
in which you saw taking yesterday afternoon. I showed that body dissipating, so this appears to be even less a factor than it was before. Your recovery area is now believed to be just a little north of the intertropical convergence zone, which you can probably see when you look at your windows there.
Whatever you want to do.
Yesterday there was also a report of a tropical storm Viola. Further to the west, the location is about 1,000 miles east of the Philippines, and moving northwest. Tropical storm Viola has been intensifying. And should be transferred to the typhoon category in the next 12 hours or so. However, that will be far to your west. As a matter of fact, Sunrise Terminator has not yet reached Viola. When it does, several hours from now, you can probably distinguish it from your viewpoint quite readily. As a matter of fact, it should be of interest to take the pictures and comment upon it once you get a chance to see Viola in a few hours. So that's on the first weather state and situation for your recovery area. Over.
For impact or explosion than an earthquake. And we will use those spectral differences probably as our main indicator. Over here. Oh, the time on the record that this was recorded. Greenwich time yesterday. 3:20 yesterday afternoon. Houston time. Steve.
Could either of you gentlemen speculate as to the implications of this if it is indeed a surface quake, a very high up quake? What would this tell you about the structure of
I think Professor Pratt pointed out that this is the fact of dispersion could be taken as evidence for layering. Well, you know that on Earth we live on an outer layer, rather thin layer, which overlies a much thicker layer called the mantle that we live on, the mantle, and in the core of the Earth, the liquid and an inner solid part. So what we're saying is rather than being a homogeneous body without a boundary,
you have aches and pains.
Such dispersion could be taken as evidence for an outer layer. There may be other explanations, however, to give it a little more thought.
Okay. Hope we can find some. Right.
Was the short period vertical event which you pointed out to us the same as the surface wave event you pointed out? Are these two different readings on the same event, or are they different events? And if so,
how does one relate to the other? What does one tell you that the other does? No, the high frequency event that we looked at is quite different. It's not in any way related to that surface wave. The high frequency event would be much closer, probably much closer to us. That is, the origin would have been much closer. And at this point are much more difficult it's much more difficult to ascertain definitely whether or not they are of true natural seismic origin, or maybe in fact produced within the lens, or maybe even within our own instrument as it tends to settle itself within the rubble layer. So they have the characteristics, the appearance of what one might expect from a very local earthquake. But at this point, we have to be much more careful in our analysis of those.
Gentlemen, has the manned lunar landing brought the old controversy, hot moon versus cold moon, brought to any solution? Have you data indicating which of those two theories might be true now?
I'll let one of my colleagues field that one. About one take turn.
I think it's a little early in the game for us to attempt to answer that question. If the inference about a crust turns out to be substantiated by further observation of similar terrain, then we will feel quite certain that at one time in its history the moon has been sufficiently hot to allow the matter of which it's composed to differentiate into a lighter crust and a heavier mantle.
On the basis of your thermal problem on the seismometer, are you going to go back into the Alpha package and make any redesign of that to give more thermal protection?
The Alpha package is a completely different thermal design. It's designed for a deployment distance of some 300 feet as opposed to what we're at. 50 to 60 feet, I think, was the number. Right now, we see no basis for changing the Alpha design or the subsequent prolongation.
Collier.
Two questions. First, what are the most vulnerable, temperature vulnerable components in the instrument? What would be likely to fail first as temperature rises? And secondly, and maybe I need to read that again, would you explain those large amplitude waves which are on that graph and what causes those? If this is recording surface waves, what are those large amplitude spikes?
I'll answer the first part. We feel that the most sensitive item found within the passive seismometer package is the transmitter. We've been watching it very closely. So far, we are operating properly, and we'll just have to watch it as the sun goes on and gets hotter.
That's the second point. If we could reach a crossing, you want to turn that back on? Could you ask to see that graph once more? It's my opinion, and I expect we may have four opinions again, that the my opinion that what we're seeing.
Power operations, this is Bell. Hi. Yeah, that's okay. I just have a couple questions to ask you. Mr. Vesely, Vessely from General Electric, MAG, wants to be put on the distribution list to receive mission briefs. Shall I put him on? Okay. And
rubble layer, the surface of the rubble layer.
Okay. And Mr. James Ferris wrote to Mr. Hage and wants to know if he can have a copy of a flight plan. No, that's what I told Liz. What we do get, we give them all out. We keep one, and that's it. She doesn't know, except that he's from Newark, New Jersey. It's just a fan letter, I suppose.
To exhibit this behavior. At this point, that's about all I can say about it.
Yeah. Okay. I tried to get some information on him, and Liz didn't have any. So, right. Okay.
But also on this, whenever you install a seismograph this temperature,
yeah.
It takes many days for the...
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, and I've done your travel vouchers up to date, and I have a couple questions on some, but if you want to, I'll just wait until you get back. I have figured up your travel vouchers, for past travel, and I have a couple questions on two of them. But if you want to, I'll just wait until you get back. Okay. So, when are you coming back? Friday. Okay. Very good. That's all I have.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say 5 minutes. And
okay.
The energy source, of course, what we see from a different energy sources is greatly dependent upon the distance that the event was. The origin of it was perhaps you made an estimate earlier, like what would you get on Earth equivalent 2,000-3,000 kilometers? It looks like a California event recorded on the east coast of the United States. An event in California would have a value shooting about 4 to 5. But of course, that's on Earth-based analysis. We shouldn't do that. We won't do that. But it's a very, very rough indication.
Bill? Just one piece, and if you don't know the answer, just say no. One, Dr. Alley, do you have any idea of where that laser beam is coming from that Armstrong and also saw photographed?
That was not set up by me and my group. And from the later description as a yellowish-white beam, I have doubts as to whether it was indeed a laser beam, but perhaps was a specular reflection or glint from some large reflecting surface on Earth that just happened to be reflecting the sun into that particular direction.
Question number 2. Does anybody up there know the temperature on the moon at the time of the moonwalk? What the temperature is now that's cause dependent, and what the maximum temperature will be?
So we've been carrying a graph of the temperature, of course, as recorded on the instrument package from the time of turn on. Chuck, do you have that information at hand?
Generally, the temperature, and I don't have an exact moment, but it would appear as though it was somewhere between 0 and 50 degrees at the time of the deployment. Currently, the temperature on the surface of the moon from the information on the package appears to be about 170 to 175, 80 degrees currently. These are Fahrenheit temperatures. And I think the last flux. And the last question was, what are the temperatures that are causing the problem? The temperature on our transmitter now is about
65 degrees currently, and at lunar noon it might go up to about 200 degrees if it's still operating.
Dick Lyman.
Two questions. The first for Dr. Latham, the second for Professor Shoemaker. Dr. Latham, Professor Lovell estimated the speed of Luna 15 as at the moon at 300 miles an hour. Would this not be something that could be picked up by your seismometer? Assuming the Russian vehicles of this type are generally around 3,000 pounds, sometimes 3,500. If you're going 300 miles an hour, that's a pretty sizable impact.
I think you'll find that the energy equivalent of that impact is not more than a few pounds of TNT. That's not a very high velocity, after all, at 500 miles. So that we would certainly not expect to have recorded that.
Okay. And Dr. Shoemaker, the position that you thought Apollo 11 landed was how many miles from the targeted impact? I didn't see, maybe it was there, but I missed it, any dot or any reference to where they were supposed to have landed nominally. How far west of that area, and what is the point you now think that they landed, and was it horizontally any place plus or minus a kilometer? Do you have any idea?
The evidence is fairly consistent that the actual landing is about 3 to 4 miles downrange, that is to the west of the center of the landing ellipse. I mean, if you want to take the center as the targeted area, actually the whole ellipse you ought to think of as the targeted area, which it is, and in fact they landed on the target. That ellipse is the bullseye, and they hit it, but they were close to the edge of it, and it's an elongated bullseye. Outside, there are other parts of it.
Is it any a mile or two above or below the track, or is it almost on the track?
It's about, I believe it's about a mile south of the central axis of the ellipse.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've had the air to ground down now for an hour and 10 minutes. I have 2 more questions.
Please, can we know the name, please, of the person who's tested a case of champagne with a colleague of in California? Also the name of the colleague in California, and are you betting that it is a moonquake or against the moonquake?
Knowing my colleague very well, I'm sure he won't mind that I tell you that his name is Professor George Kennedy at UCLA.
It's long,
and I wager that I was in favor of the position that there would be moonquake.
Ed? 2 questions, Dr. Shoemaker. If on subsequent flights you have the same difficulty in pinpointing the exact location of the landing at the time the crew is on the surface, will it have any effect on the geological exploration? I know prior to this mission you had talked in terms of maybe directing the crew. And secondly, for Dr. Costa, I'd appreciate it if you expand a little bit on these soil discrepancies that you hope to resolve if the crew gets back.
Well, we've heard comments as to the fact that the soil is prodigious, and in some other instances that we have a very fine powdery material, which perhaps may not indicate cohesion. As they were landing about 40 feet above ground, they observed they picked up some dust, and yet when they went underneath the descent stage, did not see any craters forming. In some places, they call the material as appearing as find how the graphite and some other instances that cause the rocks being slippery. We don't know actually what they mean by these descriptions. Do they refer to graphite as being slippery, or do they refer to as in terms of appearance, for instance? Then there were some other things that we were kind of wondering, in that they did have considerable difficulty in driving the core tube, as they mentioned, and yet very close to the core tubes, they emplaced the solar wind composition shaft with very easily. There, we don't know whether there is any pockets or soft pockets, or whether there is any layer of hard material. We don't know it yet. With respect to this no crater below the engine, we are still studying the flight dynamics. Apparently the spacecraft did have a forward velocity that it landed. We don't know exactly at what particular point the engines were shut off. We don't know whether there were some protuberances that perhaps they were eroded as the spacecraft was landing, and then of course it didn't see anything. But we hope that we'll be able to get some more information when we have the chance to do that.
What we would do, the question was, what is the chance of finding a spacecraft on a future mission? What effect will that have if we don't find it? Actually, I think the chances are very good that we can locate on the next mission. The mission control asked Armstrong to stop describing the site after they landed, because they had other information they needed. Had he gone on at that time and given us a few more landmarks, I think we might have located it at this time. None of us was presupposed to direct the astronauts as a scientist, but we might be able to assist them with specific questions, and particularly if we can locate them and know exactly what craters they're visiting, maybe possibly determine certain features from the orbiter photographs they wouldn't necessarily see on the ground, and suggest certain key relationships that they might like to verify while they're on the surface. That's the general use of that information as part of the geological experiment.
One more question. Lewis Coe?
Dr. Latham, do you think that with this one impact or moonquake that you have now, that you can go back and confirm the layering by others studying it, or would you take a number of such events to be studied to get a fairly firm decision on whether or not to watch for it?
Well, we will certainly require more events than one to make a very definitive study out of it. We will be able to make reasonably general statements out of this one observation, I believe.
But I'd like to get an idea of what out of this one observation you might be able to reach after you've had plenty of time to study the data.
Would you like to respond to that one,
Okay, Captain. See, that one observation won't give us a unique interpretation. We will not be able to say that the lunar crust is so many kilometers thick and the material on the top consists of such and such, and the material below consists of something else. One event won't do that for us. However, if we make some assumptions, if we now know that it is layered, if we say, well, what if the top layer consisted of basaltic lava and the bottom layer consisted of pyrrhotite, then what would the thickness be? You see, we can play that sort of game of making assumptions, which really we have no right to, but just as an initial guess. And then we might say, under these conditions, the crust is so thick. Under those conditions, the crust is so thick. Then in conclusion, I can only say that we cannot give you a unique answer about the properties of the surface layer and the material beneath, but
different possibilities under these different assumptions.
Apollo 11, Houston, over.
I think it's fair to say that we can greatly constrain it.
All right, yeah, Captain. 11, Houston, we'd like to try operation on the high gain array here. If you would select reacquire and your S-band antenna to high gain, your positions are pitch plus 40 and yaw 270, and then monitor for acquisition. Over. Okay, it should work.
This is Apollo control at 172 hours, 20 minutes. During the press conference, we established contact with the crew. Capsule communicator Owen Gary had put in a call at 171 hours, about 10 minutes after the surgeon reported biomedical data showed all 3 crewmen awake. Neil Armstrong responded, and we have received a status report from the crew. I also passed up the preliminary information that they would use in the re-entry tomorrow, and gave them a weather report for the prime recovery area in the Pacific landing zone. We'll play back about 12 minutes of taped conversation we've accumulated to date, and then stand by for any further live comments from the spacecraft.
Madam, yet, over.
Over, up.
Eyeball of my measuring file. 11, Houston, got your signals loud and clear here. How are things this morning? Over.
Do you read it,
on? Roger, loud and clear, 11.
Okay, everything feel all right here? So far, we haven't been looking in the cockpit yet. We've been spending our time looking outside.
11, Houston, we're just now ready to push from Omni Delta over to your Roger 11. You're breaking up just a little bit there, Neil. Your signals are loud, but breaking up occasionally. Your spacecraft all looks good here from the ground. We noticed you stirring around a little bit, and that's all we can call over. We do have a few items for you here, pre-tags, fillables, and so forth. After you've had a chance to get organized, whenever you're ready to start on a few of these items, we'll read them up to you. Over.
Okay, stand by. Go ahead, Owen. I've got the books out there to scout it.
Okay, Buzz. On your flight plan items, a few updates. First of all, we've canceled mid-course number 6. Just remain in PTC. Give you a little more time this morning. Second item on the flight plan is we're ready for a battery charge anytime you want to put it on the line. And third item, we'd like a wastewater dump a little differently this time. We'd like to do it on our mark from the ground. The PTC is a little bit ragged, and we would like to make the water dump at a time which we think will hold it in its proper configuration. So it looks like we'll have a desirable opportunity coming along in between 15 and 20 minutes. And on our mark, we would like to have a wastewater dump down to about 40%. I'll give you a more accurate level for the water dump a little later. Over. That looks real good, Mike. Looks like it's about right there. Do the other thing there. 11, Houston, stand by just a moment here till we get out of the null position on the antenna. 2410.
11, Houston, we're over on Omni Delta now. I think we can read you better. Did you get all those first three items on your flight plan update? Over.
I got course correction, my cancel, battery decharge, and water dump on your call. Over.
That's right, Buzz. And last item here, we do request that we do a P52, even though we're not doing the mid-course correction, and we'll suggest you get to that after the wastewater dump has been complete. We also have a state vector update for you if you can give us a poo and accept. Over.
Okay, you have the discount.
Roger. We'll be sending that up, and I'll give you your consumables update now. It's for a time of 170 hours. Your RTS total is a minus 3.5%. Alpha is minus 14.5. Bravo plus 7. Charlie minus 4.5. Delta minus 3. Hydrogen total is minus 1. And your oxygen total is plus 2.4. Over.
Roger, copy those. And on board readouts, C is 69, C is 73, B is, let me start over again. Okay, A is 51, and B is 62, C is 63, and D is 59. Over.
Roger, 11, copy those, and we've checked in here on the ground also. One correction to my last transmission, we would like that P52 prior to the wastewater dump, which is coming up in about 30 minutes from now. Will that be possible? Over.
Oh yeah, we'll take care of that.
Roger. And if you're ready for an entry pad, I'll read that up to you now also, 11.
Ready to copy.
Okay, entry pad is area mid-pack, 359er, 153, 001, 19er 4, 46, 03, 267, plus 1102, minus 172, 03. 067 361 9er 4 655 118 75 362 75 19er 5 03 03 0028 DL and VL. All four are not applicable. D0, 400, 0210, 0018, 0338, 0821, 44, 29er 32, 380. Foresight star is Scorpio Theta. Up 314, right 34, lift vector up. Comment. Entry data assumes no mid-course maneuvers. Your Earth entry minus 30 minutes horizon check. 19er 4 plus 33 plus 03. Your pitch is 29er 7. This assumes an entry rust match. Your GDC aligned stars are Dennis and Vega. Roll pitch yaw 078 233 340. Read back. Over.
Roger, mid-back entry pad 359er 153 001 194 46 03 67 plus 1102 minus 17203 067 36 194 655 11875 3675 195 0303 003 DL and BLNA 400 0210 0018 0338 0821 44 2932 380 Scorpii Delta Scorpii Theta up 314 right 4 up Common course correction rise sky minus 30 1943303 pitch 97 then at the Vega 078 33 340 over
11 Houston, that's Roger, copy. 11, that's also your computer. You can go back to block.
Roger.
45%. Should let you arrive at Earth interface with just about a full load of wastewater, over.
And 150, 140 approximately. So 40%.
Houston, we'd like to advance the time on that water dump to about 171 plus 30, just after we reacquire on the next Omni. As I mentioned, it'll be down to 45% is the new quantity. Also, we're standing by for your CM RTS ejector temperature readout, over. 11 Houston, I'm not certain you copied my last transmission as we were just in the process of switching Omnis. We'd like to advance the time on that water dump to about 5 minutes from now, and we'll give you a precise mark on the time to start the dump. And we are standing by for a readout on your CMRTS ejector temperatures, over.
Okay, we're standing by for your mark and stand by for the readout.
Roger.
Yes, Apollo 11, are you ready to copy ejector temperatures? I'll read them in volt.
It's affirmed. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. 2-4 is reading 4.7 volts. 2-5 is reading 4.8 volts. 1-2 is reading 4.8 volts. 1-4 is reading 4.8. 1-6, 4.5. And 2-1, 4.8, over.
11 Houston, Roger, those, got them all. Apollo 11 Houston, we're ready to start your wastewater dump at this time, over.
Roger, dumping.
Houston, we show you.
Apollo 11, we've dumped to 45%. They're stopping now. You concur?
Roger, 11, we concur. For the recovery recovery area anytime you'd like to hear about it. Over. Go ahead. 11 Houston, present forecast shows acceptable conditions in your recovery area. 2,000 foot scattered, high scattered. Wind from 070 degrees, 13 knots. Visibility 10 miles. And sea state about 4 feet. The forecast yesterday showed a tropical storm, Claudia, some 500 to 1,000 miles east of Hawaii. The pictures from Earth satellites taken yesterday afternoon showed Claudia dissipating, so this appears to be even less a factor than it was before. Your recovery area is now believed to be just a little ways north of the intertropical convergence zone, which you can probably see when you look out your windows there. Yesterday there was also a report of a tropical storm, Viola, further to the west. Its present location is some 1,000 miles east of the Philippines and moving northwest. Tropical storm Viola has been intensifying and should be transferred to the typhoon category within the next 12 hours or so. However, that will be far to your west. As a matter of fact, Sunrise Terminator has not yet reached Viola. When it does, several hours from now, you can probably distinguish it from your viewpoint quite readily. As a matter of fact, it should be of interest to perhaps take some pictures and comment upon it when you do get a chance to see Viola in a few hours. So that's about the present weather state and situation for your recovery area. Over.
Okay, sounds pretty good.
Apollo 11 Houston, over.
Go right ahead, Houston.
11 Houston, we'd like to try an operation on with the high gain array here. If you would select reacquire and your S-band antenna to high gain, your positions are pitch plus 40 and yaw 270, and then monitor for acquisition. Over.
Okay, it should work.
11 Houston, we're just now ready to switch from Omni Delta over to your high gain antenna. Can you confirm that you have gone to REAC? Over.
Confirm.
Looks real good, Mike. Looks like it picked up about 30 dB on the signal strength.
Yeah, I came in quite quickly. However, I'm still about 40 yaw, about
Roger, about 240 and 0.
This is Apollo Control at 172 hours 38 minutes. Apollo 11 now 108,669 nautical miles from the Earth, traveling at a speed of 5,534 meters per second.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Stand by.
I'm sorry, I was on it.
Hello, Mr. Chandler, this is Virginia. Mr. Jenkins would like to speak to Mr. H again. Is he there?
Not that.
Yes, apparently he did talk to him, but he didn't say which number to call, and I didn't know where H called from.
Okay.
Let me see.
Give the office number.
All right. He's out of the meeting he was in, do you know?
Yes, that meeting got over about halfway time.
Okay.
Okay, that's 3358.
Okay, he's over with Julie then.
Yeah, that's where we expected him to go after the meeting. That should be at lunch.
I see. Well, I'll try the other number. Thank you. Fine. Thanks very much. Bye.
Okay. Check one thing. Go ahead.
like that at checkpoint. follow control at 173 hours, 18 minutes. There are virtually no flight plan activities scheduled at this time. The spacecraft systems all continue to perform normally. The present time of Apollo 11 is 106,482 nautical miles from the Earth. Velocity is 5,607 feet per second. At 174 hours, 24 minutes, the spacecraft will be approximately halfway between the Earth and the Moon in terms of distance. It will be 102,888 nautical miles from the Earth and the same distance from the Moon. The spacecraft weight at this time is 26,000 pounds.
Apollo 11, Houston, over. Go ahead. I just wanted to make sure you fellas hadn't gone back to sleep again. And also have a little bit of late news here if you'd like to find out what's happened in the last 12, 14 hours, over. Okay. Okie doke. Hot off the press here, we find Juan Carlos was formally designated yesterday, Tuesday, to become General Franco's successor as the chief of state of Spain and eventual king. Juan Carlos will be sworn in today as his successor designate after taking an oath of loyalty to the law and the national movement, Spain's only legal political organization. He will apparently be called the Prince of Spain. House Ways and Means Committee also has agreed yesterday to tax changes affecting oil companies, also banks and utilities, which could add as much as $2 billion per year to the federal revenue. The committee also voted tentatively to change the accounting procedures for telephone, electric, gas, and oil pipeline companies, and to reduce tax benefits of mutual savings and loan institutions. So it looks as if tax reform may be on the way. Looking overseas, we find South Korea's first superhighway linking Seoul with the port of Incheon has been named the Apollo Highway to commemorate your trip. I think we mentioned last night that President Nixon has already started on his round-the-world trip, and today he is in San Francisco on his first stop, which will take him to the USS Hornet, from which he'll watch the return of your spacecraft. He plans to visit 7 nations, including Romania, during this trip. He, as I think you also knew, had to miss the All-Star baseball game yesterday, as it was rained out, but is being played today. The West Coast residents in Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, Vancouver, British Columbia, San Francisco, all plan to make their areas visible to the three of you by lighting their lights between 9 p.m. and midnight tonight, according to the Associated Press. We do have clear weather predicted there, so that you may be able to see Christmas lights, porch lights, door lights, and whatever may be turned on. A little closer to home here, back in Memphis, Tennessee, a young lady who is presently tipping the scales at 8 pounds 2 ounces was named a Module by her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Lee McGee. It wasn't my idea, said Mrs. McGee, it was my husband. He said she had balked at the name Lunar Module McGee because it didn't sound too good, but apparently they have compromised on just Module, over. Oh, you hear a few chuckles coming from that direction. And we do have a late report on the sports here also. The All-Star game currently being played. The present score at the end of the 4th inning has the National League leading the American League by 9-3. So the hitters are having a good day, as you can tell. And rain clouds are over the MSC area at the moment. It began raining here just about 10 minutes ago. And last report we were having a pretty heavy deluge. So that's it from the news front for the afternoon here, Apollo 11, over. Thank you very much, Owen. I think my yard can use water. That's very true. I've forgotten exactly how many days it did go, Buzz, but something like 30 days without rain, and we can't appreciate the rain we're getting right now.
Yeah, that was Buzz there. We could find out when the last time I lost cut.
That might be a little more difficult to find out. I'm not sure whether Mike is ready to admit when he last did the job, but I'll look into that for you.
Oh, he'll tell you. He's got it smaller.
Roger.
How's my cinch buck how they're doing?
Well, I'm not sure about yours. I can let you know about my own, and the report isn't very good.
Owen Garriott is the capsule communicator here at Mission Control at this time. To our usual way to scan here. As far as we know, we can try to scan the only thing we can find out is the inside. And we understand that they were put under the right-hand couch, and we were wondering if we could ascertain if they weren't put under there. Well, that's right. That's definitely also. That you would think that they were put under the right-hand couch. It seems to be an area of one. I would think they're supposed to be left. Well, my understanding is that it's brought into the that they had not yet found a place for. Okay. Next hour, Apollo 11 will be crossing the midway point in distance. So we're at 174 hours, 24 minutes, and 7 seconds. There will be a briefing at 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time in the Building 1 auditorium on the Lunar Receiving Laboratory.